Muscular.
Everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 US citizens were detained by ICE, and Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustifiably.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist, and it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. But you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias. You should be reporting on the facts. You should be reporting on the cases. Do you have the numbers of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country? I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories. I bet you never even read about Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country. And the brave men and women of ICE are doing everything in their power to remove those heinous individuals and make our communities safer. And shame on people like you in the media who have a crooked view and have a biased view and pretend like you're a real honest journalist.
He hated that. He hated that moment.
Was he British or something? What was that accent?
I think he might be he reminds me of the co-host on The Rising sometimes, with Robbie Suave or whatever.
But he had that weird accent. What was that?
I don't know. Whenever it's weird, it's like it could be South African. It could be
right. You know what? That's what it sounded like, South African.
Yeah, they got them. There's kind of English, but not really. It's a little roguish. Yeah.
It'd be great if ICE agents literally lifted him up out of the seat and removed him during the press conference for a visa violation. That would be entertaining.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. People are saying rights for the hill. They're saying Irish. Okay. Well,
he's Irish. Way, well, there you go. What is he doing in here?
I don't know, but he got his ass handed to him. He did not expect that answer.
What a gutless piece of shit. They opened up the borders to do this, and now they're gaslighting us that ICE is killing people because we're trying to counteract their revolutionary actions under the Biden administration, possibly one of the most egregious civil rights violation administrations in the history of the United States. The censoring, the civil rights violations, the undermining of civil liberties by the Biden administration, the flooding of the borders by the Biden administration. That's a lot to gaslight for these pieces of shit. But you got to tip your hat for them trying. Good luck on trying that one. They're now reduced to a street thug army of fat lesbian women who are now fighting against ICE, throwing themselves at the machine in their mind to make headlines and get brutalized or shot in the head for the cause. That's how far they've come from the Oval Office to down to the street level, where single women are now fighting ICE in the streets. Interesting decay of their power, and not unsymbolic of where they are, using these incredible loud dog whistles by elected officials, literally telling them to fight ICE in the streets, like the mayor of Minneapolis, Fry, was saying yesterday.
I agree, and I've told Nate probably 50 times now, because we keep talking about it. This is how you know how little they have. They're hanging everything on Renee Good. That's the best. That is I'm just saying that is literally the best case they have, because they don't have shit else.
There's so many dead Americans because of these illegal alien criminals who've come in here. They don't know their names. They refuse to say their names. Biden could barely say Laken Riley's name during the State of the Union address. These pieces of shit, this is their pushback against Trump getting everyone out of here who was allowed in an attempt to alter the fabric and destroy the United States by opening up the borders for 4 years. That is a lot of gaslighting for the American people to swallow, Eric. The fact that we saw night after night after night American people being surveilled by the FBI, people being censored, people being dropped, careers being destroyed, like our friend who passed away 2 days ago. Absolute destruction of the American populace and by the left, by the Biden administration. And if they ever get back into power, we are totally, totally fucked. And their attempts to gaslight is a weak attempt to fight back against Trump. But nevertheless, they've got megaphones up the gazoo at multiple media levels. You know, whether it's mainstream television, whether it's print, whether it's a Daily Beast or the Daily whatever, they're going to pull out all their stops. You know, if they have to frame an ICE agent for a killing, they will frame them. If they have to kill ICE agents, they will kill them. They are desperate. They are like a wounded political animal in the woods fighting to survive. And that is a dangerous freaking animal, Eric.
Totally agree. And you brought up Scott Adams briefly. One thing he did say, I think it was a year or two ago, 2023, you know, he got ran out of all the papers, everything else that happened. And he did say, I've lost, they've cost my career. And at the end, he said, and my health.
Yeah,
so
and his health, absolutely.
His health even
and he's not alone. He's not alone. There's plenty of other quieter people who were destroyed, who were debanked, who were fired, who were forced vaccines upon them. It is a multilateral attempt while they were in power to destroy their opposition so they could never, ever take power again. That's what they were doing. We know it. They know it. And now the middle of the country is finding out about it. And we have to continue to remind the American people what they did for 4 to 6 years to the American conservative and independent political minds of this country. And I am not going to shut up until they put me in that ground for what these fascists attempted to do between the stolen election in 2020 until they pried Biden's cold, dead fingers off of the auto pen and removed him from that building.
Totally agree. Now I'm going to shift gears very rapidly. In general, I don't automatically go to super chats, but when somebody drops $100, it does
like
get my attention. That's right.
It's like cocaine.
It's like a pay to play. You got my attention here, but let's see what we've got here.
Yeah.
All right. I hate to go off track, but I learned yesterday the Epstein law has no recommended penalty for non-release. So we have a law passed nearly unanimously with no teeth, no congressional rep, legacy media, victim, or their lawyer has brought this up. Complete unified silence. Yes, it's a toothless law. That's what they wrote. Aren't you happy? Okay.
I don't understand. What is the law?
They were just saying you have to provide these documents by a certain date.
Right. There is no law.
There is no under the penalty of blah, blah. They just didn't bother with that.
It says the word Epstein law, and then it says law. There is no law.
Yeah.
Again, I have to push back. I appreciate the money. But again, it's one of these super chats that states an inaccurate statement and then asks for some resolution about it. There is no Epstein law. I don't know what that means, so I can't really talk intelligently.
They mean the Epstein bill, but the Epstein bill did not have a second half of it, which would be technically.
And what is it they want? What is it they want? I mean, Clinton, husband and wife, have now been indicted, or they will soon to be indicted. They are violating these subpoenas to come into the Oversight Committee and testify. These two have now been referred to the Department of Justice because of this Epstein investigation of Clinton, the male Clinton, his involvement with Epstein. He is refusing to testify. I believe that's as pretty good as it's going to get, having a former president indicted. Again, apparently there is no limit to what these Epsteinites want in terms of redemption or justice or what. Again, how high up the chain of command do you want to go with this Epstein scandal?
right
just
now they want to have Bondi arrested because not every document has been released, et cetera, et
It's
cetera.
insane. They're totally insane. There's other issues on the plate. We're pushing back against a massive revolution. We've got states that are fighting us in the streets, and you're asking for these documents from 22 years ago? Have some perspective on where we are, for Christ's sakes. Again, I appreciate the money.
We do appreciate it, and I get it. And they're not just.
It just drives me crazy. They're about to indict the former president of the United States, but you don't understand, Mark. There are pedophiles, secret pedophiles running around the earth. Yeah, one of them happens to be Timothy
PDF
Busfeld.
Files on here because we want to.
One of them happens to be Timothy Busfeld, who was just arrested in New Mexico, who drove and they broke his door down in the upper upstate New York in the Catskills. But yeah, they're busting into this Hollywood ring today, now, not 22 years ago. This guy should be more concerned about Timothy Busfeld and his wife than he is about something from 27 years ago. It's shocking to me. They know nothing about what's currently going on in the news. This is a big fish to take down in Hollywood. His wife, who was grooming them, was the president of the Screen Actors Guild. How about that for interest in power? I mean, it's just shocking how off the priorities are.
True. And of course, we're proceeding everything with allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Because we're not crazy.
Well, he allegedly paid a victim and the law firm over 30 years ago. He paid $150,000. This is not allegedly, to a law firm that represented a potential victim. And he claimed that the law firm made up the whole story out of a whole cloth, the law firm. And the judge castigated him from the bench and his attorneys, saying, you must pay this law firm immediately $150,000 and also settle this with this victim, which he did out of court. And the reason that happened was because the father of the victim was a therapist, and he's now recanted the fact that he allowed him to go to therapy, talking him into it, Busfeld, instead of going to the police. The father has now come out saying he hates the fact that this guy allowed him to be talked into it. And the father was a therapist. And the father now feels like a schmuck that he didn't go to the cops when his daughter was his own victim.
Should feel like more than a schmuck person.
Right. Well, he does. And I'll add one more thing to this. Warner Brothers Studios blocked the investigation and I'm still on this New Mexico food chain of documents because of the old Alec Baldwin case. So they've been sending me documents about this. Warner Brothers cock-blocked them every step of the way, trying to get access to the victims and to Busfeld himself for months and months and months. Warner Brothers Studios cock-blocked the investigation into taking down this guy.
Interesting.
But this is by the authorities in New Mexico. I'm not making this up. This is New Mexico District Attorney's Office saying this yesterday.
I'd be interested to see which individuals at Warner Brothers Studios are doing that, because that could be actionable.
They mention it, and it's the legal department of Warner Brothers. The guy names names. He says the head of legal at Warner Brothers.
Amazing.
Yeah. But I'm saying the reason I'm mentioning this is because there are current pedo rings going on now. You don't have to go back 40 years over this dead guy's bones. Instead of focusing on what's currently happening with current victims, nobody seems to have any interest in that. For some reason, that's not of interest.
I hear you.
Yeah, it's just bizarre.
Circling back to the original story. So, okay, theme of the day, Insurrection Act. And what's going on here?
Let's go, Eric. Let's go.
Well, that's what I want to know, Mark. What is going on here?
Well, it's been used before. I mean, it's been used by George H. Walker Bush. It's used by many presidents throughout history. I mean, going back to the 50s, 60s, 90s, the Insurrection Act, again, attempting to gaslight us that this is something that Adolf Hitler would use. American presidents have used this quite a few times in American history. When they can't pull somebody out of a store without a mob surrounding them and the police. And I've heard the 911, they're not 911, they were police recordings of police asking for assistance after the shooting because a mob had assembled. No one responded from Minneapolis police, and this was from police asking for assistance in crowd control when the mob assembled after the shooting. Now, this is a city with 500,000 people, which is not small, but it's 500,000 people. They have 590 stinking cops in the entire police force, not by accident, because they defunded the police. So they're down to about 500 active cops. And the reason I mention that is because the mayor was using the Menendez brothers' defense as an orphan. He just says, "Oh, how do you expect us to help? We have very few cops because of you, you Yiddish nitwit."
Wow. By the way, did you see that about the mayor? That was kind of messed up. That somebody put together a crowdfunding bit for the ICE agent, to cover any legal fees or whatever come up, and then they wrote in the damn crowdfunding piece, and it is a problem on the right. I don't care how you put it.
Yeah.
They were saying that the Minneapolis mayor, parentheses, who is Jewish.
Oh, that's outrageous.
So I'm like, what does it have to do with the damn
Nothing,
thing?
of course not. They're just
sickening.
They're trying to get some money out of Jew haters. They just going. Our goal is righteous, so we have to use all types of methods because our goal is righteous. It's just like Mickey Rourke trying to get his apartment. He's now saying he's giving back the money, Mickey Rourke. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah, if you could only figure out how, right?
Yeah, if you only figure out how. He give it back. It was really Mickey Rourke had a problem with his Jewish landlord, so it really wasn't Mickey Rourke.
Oh, okay. I'm sure that's it. All right. Well, you know what? Let's change gears.
Any gear you want, Hunley. You're at the helm.
All right. Well, you're feeling sprightly, so let's talk about the important subjects. We have children and their toys. So all children should be represented apparently now, and we're going to talk about autistic Barbie.
Yeah, I saw this last night. I think Finnerty had it on one of the Newsmax channel, and I had no idea how far this has gone. Not only is there an autistic Barbie now, these two women in Tampa served as the models for autistic Barbie. I did not know, Eric, that there was Down syndrome Barbie, blind Barbie, Barbie with no legs, wheelchair Barbie, prosthetic leg Barbie. I don't even think there's a normal Barbie anymore. Every single one of these seems to be have something wrong with them. Here, this is the model, one of the models for the autistic Barbie. I don't know how blind Barbie.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know how blind Barbie works. How do you know she's blind? Or maybe these headphones indicate autism.
Yes, autism. We've been watching the show Welcome to Wrexham about the football team, soccer for U.S. audience in Wales, and they had an autistic audience member, and the member will wear headphones because loud noises really.
I've seen them all. I've seen them all over town for years here. Yeah, that's not new to me. Okay, well, we see them in the restaurants. No, the audience might not know. Yeah. You're right. But I don't know how blind Barbie works. Apparently, autistic Barbie doesn't look you in the eye. Like one of the eyes or both of the eyes, at least that's what I heard last night, are tilted down.
Okay.
Just so you know. But can you show? I sent you another one with missing leg Barbie, with the prosthetic leg. That's the most shocking one. I had no idea. There's wheelchair Barbie, and there's a bunch of different wheelchair Barbies. So it's not just a one-off. And what Finnerty was talking about last night is that studies indicate that children with these conditions do not want to be reminded of. This is my favorite. This is prosthetic leg Barbie that comes with the extra leg. I think the wheelchair is extra. You got to order it separately. But there's the prosthetic leg for amputee Barbie. But there's arm amputee Barbie. There's various amputee Barbies. I didn't know that. And apparently the kicker to the whole story is the kids who have all of these afflictions don't want them. They want normal Barbie. They don't want to be reminded. They know they don't have a leg. They don't need to get a Barbie doll with no leg. This is an adult virtue signaling toy leftist maneuver to sell these different autistic and Down syndrome and amputee Barbies. Wow.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. First off, nobody ever asks them what they want. It's determined for them. But number two, let's look at the original Barbie. I think somebody did a breakdown that if Barbie was a real person, I think she'd be 6'7", because of the waist and the profile. And no girl really looks like Barbie. It is a fantasy figure, and it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic for a reason. It's something that they're striving to.
It's unrealistic to adults. The kids don't care about that. What you're saying, this is unrealistic to some lesbian professor at Brown University who does a PhD study on it because she ran out of ideas, that it's turned into a book and then a documentary and possibly a film with Greta Gerwig as the director.
Well, that is my point, though. Is that none of the Barbies actually match humanity, and no kids want them. They want this, this.
I mean, did you say that about G.I. Joe? That G.I. Joe would be 17 feet tall, and this
exactly.
is not. It's insane. Who
I want Superman to look like me. I want Superman to have one leg. He's Superman.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I mean, so it's not completely. I don't know. It's not completely surprising, but it is very, very frustrating for sure.
Well, the real people in the real world don't want to support their real children. From what I saw yesterday about Hunter Biden, who apparently keeps missing these child support payments, and now his ex baby mama is demanding that he be arrested like any other deadbeat dad.
Okay.
I mean, what is the problem about this guy meeting his monthly payments for his own daughter in terms of a court order? Alimony situation or child support. What's that?
His grift is done. He's got no money. I mean, the same way he comes out saying, "Yeah, my dad was screwed. He was wrong." The Afghanistan. Why did suddenly he change his suit? He's got no money left, so he's going to start shifting and try to come into another approach because he's got to get a new grift.
Then he needs to be arrested for not paying child support like anyone else. Anyone else, Eric.
I agree. And you can he'll have security around him in a cell,
right?
So no, we totally agree with that. By the way, this is a side story. I personally was affected. You might not have been, but I was affected. Nate was affected, and a few million people were affected. Yep, Verizon.
What's the story? I didn't hear what the final reason was.
It's really
there it is.
It's no surprise whatsoever what it was. They say it's a software issue. I'll tell you right now, it's probably a patch. I worked in IT, and I can't tell you how many times we would patch a particular switch or server, and all of a sudden it would break email through the entire organization or things like that. So they're saying it was not a cybersecurity attack or anything else. It was a software problem. So they probably did a patch.
Or what's
no, they're saying that it wasn't a cybersecurity failure or threat, that it was a software issue. Software issue tells me, they say, was some kind of software problem. That tells me they ran a damn patch probably, and I'm sure it screwed them up. It happens all the time.
Mostly East Coast though, right? Or
well, I don't know. It affected Nate in Texas, so pretty wide range. That's central.
Wide range.
And as far as this goes, they don't test patches before deploying. Yes, but the problem is that you don't have a mirror of your entire network to test every single thing. And it only has to be one centralized switch, for example. If you get the right core switch, all traffic will be running through that switch, and it'll shut down the whole network. And that switch probably cost $100,000, $200,000.
Do you think this is affecting pizza deliveries at the Pentagon?
I don't know where you're going with it, but sure.
Because apparently, whoever tracks this around the Pentagon pizza places, there has been a spike in the past 2 days of pizzas being delivered to the Pentagon, and what Pentagon interpreters usually interpret that to mean is a strike against Iran. The usual attempts to order the pizzas at the Pentagon have always precursed military strikes against a foreign nation. So the lookers at the pizza spike have once again, and they've been correct almost every single time, the pizza places and Domino's and everything surrounding the Pentagon have now been for 48 hours, and you would appreciate this as a tech guy, through cyber, digital ways, are now delivering pizza after pizza after pizza to various divisions and departments throughout the Pentagon, indicating a strike that is coming very shortly, presumably against Iran.
That makes complete sense. All hands on deck. Pizza's being ordered. It's easy. You don't have to think about it.
But
well, instead of Kremlinology, it's pizzaology, which is kind of cool.
And this has been tested and proven in previous surgical strikes by the American military. And I think it was mentioned on with Mark this morning on his show. I didn't come up with this, but other people who follow the pizza ordering from the surrounding places around the Pentagon have been saying that they've seen a massive spike in deliveries to the Pentagon, which is easily trackable, by the way. It's not rocket science.
Well, it makes perfect sense. I mean, as soon as you told me, it's like, oh yeah, I never thought of it, but yeah, that does make sense. Anytime you have, that's why I say consultants, because I was just thinking, people in who aren't normally there.
Except one guy they think is a spy ordered the Mediterranean platter. Now they're trying to find that guy who ordered the shawarma and the Mediterranean platter, but yet somehow they haven't found him yet. So the hunt goes on, my friend. Or it could be an interpreter. We don't know.
And by the way, and also all of those orders with pineapple on it, they need to be sought out and arrested.
They need to be eradicated as well.
Absolutely.
Apparently, we have a woman here named Lindsay Horvath, who is an avowed lesbian, Lindsay Horvath.
Okay.
She is on the LA County Board of Supervisors, and they have voted to arrest ICE agents if they begin to set up within their jurisdiction called LA County, which is the largest county in the United States of America with over 10 million people. She gave a interview yesterday saying the ICE agents will be arrested by the sheriff's department. The sheriff's department refused to comment, and they have not responded to the media here as to whether and how or will they be arresting ICE agents who attempt to stage anywhere within LA County. So this will be an update later next week. There's a breaking story last night, so I just wanted to get that out there.
Great. Okay, I want to share this story. Somebody sent it to me earlier, and you got to go with it for a little while because it's pretty funny. Okay. This guy, let's see if I can find a picture of him. Shit, they took down his picture. All right, well, this guy, Casper, here's the headline. Casper man pleads guilty to making violent threats against Jewish organization.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
Okay, well, this is where it gets, that's why you got to go with it for a while because it's so funny. You'll first have his threats, so we'll hear that. And then I want you to hear the denials when he's confronted. Okay. It's freaking hilarious.
Right.
All right, so the threats. According to a sworn statement by the FBI guy, he left threats such as these. You're cowards. Mm-hmm. I see a Jew on the street and I'll effing smack them. I'm begging you to put me on your KIKE list. Sticks of wood. He then quickly called back, left another message. I want you to take your gun and blow your effing sorry, pathetic brains out of your blah, 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 blah.
Well, who's he calling about it? Who's he? The synagogue?
He's calling like the ADL.
Oh, the ADL. Okay.
So bunch of messages like that. Now, this is where I think it's hilarious. Voight and another FBI agent interviewed him at his Casper residence on August 7th. During the interview, he claimed he did not know what the Anti-Defamation League was and that he did not recall leaving the voicemails.
What?
He stated he believed that a Jew made the phone call to the FBI and opined that was the reason that the FBI was talking to him. Wow. Fowler believed that somebody had trolled him, as he gets trolled quite often, specifically on the social media platform X, formerly Twitter. So then the agents played portions of the threatening voicemails for Fulfer, who stated he believed someone had used his voice to leave the messages.
Right on.
He added that the phone number for the calls was one that he used previously, but he had changed it to a new number, the statement said.
Wow.
I love this. The FBI agents also interviewed Fulfer's father, who listened to portions of the voicemails.
Said, that's my son.
Well, no, not exactly, but just better still. Fulfer's father could not definitely say it was Fulfer's voice in the recordings, but stated they sounded like Fulfer and sounded like something he would say.
That's even better. That's even better. But, you know, I kind of latched on yesterday on Twitter. I saw this. I posted, reposted it myself, because the humor to me was that he said that he's going to shoot or do something to Jews when he sees them, you know, as soon as he sees them on the streets or whatever you read there. In the entire state of Wyoming, he's going to have a difficult time because there are 150 Jews in the state.
Total.
So total, and it hasn't changed.
And they're staying at a hotel. They're not residents.
It hasn't changed in years. Apparently, there's roughly 150 of them in the state itself of Wyoming. So he is going to have a difficult time carrying out his own dream.
Wow.
Which I thought was funnier than the dream itself. Good luck finding them, bro. You know what he needs? A new app that I got. JewTracker.com, which is a fantastic device that allows you to find them wherever they're hiding, based on all kinds of addresses, phone numbers, bar mitzvah records, food orders. You know, with my new app, JewTracker.com, you too will be able to track them down, even in the snowy woods of outside of Casper, Wyoming. $9.99. It's on. You could go to the App Store and download it today.
So it's like a kosher hotline.
Kosher. Speaking of yarmulkes, did you see Shapiro with Gavin Newsom?
I didn't watch the whole thing. I've heard about it, and I saw they were playing a clip on Halpern. I didn't get that far in the show where Newsom just could not figure out a way to answer whether a male could become a female. It was like everything but that. You know, it's like, oh, I just feel sorry for people, and we shouldn't feel pity for people. But for the grace of God, and he just went on and on.
Why did he keep saying there, but for the grace of God? He just asked him a simple question. Even Halpern was mocking him. You know, I robbed a bank there, but for the grace of God, go I. You know, it's just like, what does that mean? It had no logical retort logic to it.
Oh, it's just a sidetrack. It's like, you know what? I agree. I feel bad. I do feel bad for people who have gender dysphoria, and I hope they can get well.
If this guy gets elected, his name's going to be Deflector in Chief because he's good at it, Eric.
Oh, yeah. Well, someday, I don't know if you ever listened to that interview that Corolla did with Gavin Newsom, but it is a must listen. It's from
I've heard it.
10, 12 years ago.
But he's much smoother now than he was 12 years
ago.
Yeah.
I think he learned from that Corolla interview, because Corolla had
I don't know where he learned, but he couldn't be touched by Ben Shapiro. He came out of that thing unscathed, and I will repeat for the 50th time, do not do the podcast. He is going to take the niceties that Ben Shapiro said and say I'm endorsed by Ben Shapiro in 2 years. I can't believe Shapiro and all these other schmucks went on there and fell for this trap. It's shocking to me. Shocking. Well,
Charlie Kirk was his first episode.
He was another one, but Shapiro's so much media savvier than Charlie Kirk, who was well-intentioned. He's going to take the quotes of Shapiro saying what a wonderful guy he is, and I'm paraphrasing, and use it for his campaign. That's why he's sitting there. He's not going to take what Mark Halpern ran yesterday. He's going to take Ben Shapiro going, you know, I don't like Trump either. I agree with you about Trump, blah, blah, blah. He's going to use that.
He's shrewd.
Stupid. But how stupid are they? I mean, he is shrewd, but how stupid is Shapiro? And not just Shapiro, every single one of them who keeps falling into this liberal Venus flytrap.
No, I agree. Oh, and by the way, a lot of things have come up. I've got this clip. It's kind of circling back to the original story about, you know, Renee Good and ICE and blah, 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 all the drama surrounding it. This video came up and Fox was sharing it. I think this is from Fox or Sky News in Australia or something like that. This is from 2016 and it's Obama's ICE. So let's see how CNN reports on ICE in 2016. You know, this horrible, rogue, bad organization. How did they report under the Obama administration? Let's see.
Under the cloak of darkness in Chicago,
Attack one, guys.
an immigration and customs enforcement team gears up for another long day, pursuing undocumented immigrants who have been convicted of crimes in the U.S. ICE agents mistakenly arrest the target's brother.
In the process of talking to him in the vehicle, he then said, "Oh, no, I'm actually so-and-so. Who you're looking for is over here, this other address." He led us to that address, and we were able to actually arrest the individual.
Now, what would happen if that was Trump right now? They arrested the wrong person? Oh, my God.
Again, there's two things that they conflate, not just in this story, but in every story. Illegal versus legal immigrants. They conflate that. They conflate detaining with arrest. Mm-hmm. This guy was never processed, booked, or arrested. He was detained, and they conflated. Ro Khanna's been doing it. They've all been doing this. Phony detaining as an arrest. I just wanted to point that out.
True.
2 miles. Do you have evidence, right, that he's using a fake identity, or?
That is correct. We believe he's been using a U.S. citizen's identity to live and work. He has a driver's license. Third target, he has an unauthorized use of a weapon, which was a firearm. He has a couple DUIs. He is a criminal. He has extensive criminal history. And by taking him out of the community, it's making the community safer. And that's ICE's purpose, is to focus on criminals and community safety by taking these recidivist criminals out of our communities.
Wait a minute. Oh, my God. That could have been Tom Honan.
Yeah, I know.
I'm very confused. It sounds like they were given a fair shake, that they're removing criminals from the community. Hello?
Well, they had that Axios story that Mark was talking about, which I believe was a bullshit story, claiming that Trump is now buckling because he doesn't like seeing the violence on TV. This is, again, part of their never-ending wave to keep these people in the country. They are operating on 7,000 different levels, because if these people are removed from the country, and so far, maybe nearly 3 million have been removed in 11 months. By the way, I think the State of the Union address is in a couple of weeks, as we discussed.
There was a date announced. It was like February.
Right. Somebody
20th.
was saying March. I said it's always, usually end of January, beginning of February. But nevertheless, this fight to the death is for the existence of their entire movement. Because if you remove these illegals, their numbers buckle, Eric. Their entire house of cards collapses.
That's why they're a congressional seat or two.
Everything. I mean, did you see the footage of this woman?
February 24th, 2020.
Oh, February 24th. Cool. Did you see the footage of this woman in Florida who was kicking and fighting to the death against Florida ICE last night? Her name is Cruz. She was tased by them finally. Big fat chick, just laughing like a psycho, stoned out of her mind. The governor of Florida has said in the statement that we are not Minnesota and we're not going to tolerate this. But the footage of her being thrown into the back of the car is just how much she was fighting on both ends of the video, head and feet, to fight against ICE. This is what they're left with, not military age men. They're left with 70-year-old white male and females, and these young, dysfunctional Trantifa types who have nothing to live for, seem to have no job, and migrate from state to state, Eric, like the good woman was migrating.
It is kind of funny, and I like to point out the opposite side, if you will. I've been doing there you go. I'm doing a lot of coverage on Oklahoma City, and a lot of Oklahoma City sadly runs into the hardcore right all the way to extreme fringes. And George Lincoln Rockwell was a leading figure, head of the American Nazi Party back in the 60s or whatever. And one of the people who was under him was William Luther Pierce, who did not like Rockwell's people, because Rockwell
Eric froze up a little bit.
Not great people. And it actually seems to be kind of similar here, like people who are unemployed, desperate, they don't have much to go for. And Pierce criticized Rockwell, but Rockwell was saying, hey, these are the people that aren't going to lose anything. They're not going to lose any social face. They're not going to do anything else. So I can get them to do whatever the hell I want them to.
That's true.
And I was thinking about it, like, it's a mirror. It's a mirror. It's really kind of the same thing on going both sides. So I wanted to circle back with you were talking about how this
Well, look
woman
at
was
that photo I just
overweight.
sent you because it adds to your story that you have been talking about. There's a photo.
Wow, good timing there. All right.
Yeah, I just thought I'd send that to you because put that up on the screen so people at home.
Well, I've got to pull it. It takes a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is George Lincoln Rockwell, and when he does get it up, I'll explain it. But I thought
I'm like, wow. How did you have that triggered up? How did you know?
I'm good at that.
That is fun.
I'm a professional.
Either that or we're
no. I've been talking about this for a long time. The reality of it is, in this photo, you will see George Lincoln Rockwell and the people that Eric's mentioning at a Nation of Islam rally because they were attempting to get Farrakhan and Free Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, Farrakhan's previous leader. Here it is. This is the attempts to bond with the Nation of Islam over their anti-Semitic policies. This is circa 1964-ish. This is the front row, the American Nazi Party, and in the back are the Nation of Islam people. They were attempting to form an alliance to get rid of American Jews. It didn't pan out, but Farrakhan became one of the first Nation of Islam major leaders who was anti-Semitic, and Rockwell didn't end up for Rockwell.
Not Rockwell, but Pierce, the guy who followed him, who also wrote the Turner Diaries. Anybody who's followed,
right.
He didn't have a good relationship with Farrakhan.
Rockwell was assassinated, is all I want.
Oh, he was. Oh, yeah,
End with. So it didn't end well for Rockwell. But anyway, I just thought you'd like that.
No, I do like that. It's crazy, interesting timing. But yes, Pierce actually did have a relationship with Farrakhan because yes, they can all get along on that. We might not like each other, but we really hate the Jews.
Right. That was my angle. That was my angle on it. When Nate was getting out of the hospital, I sent him that as a get well card. That's why I had it, because I was sending it to Nate. But there's some celebrity news, Eric. I don't know if you've been following the career of Donald Sutherland's son, Kiefer Sutherland, who used to be on a show. He was on a bunch of shows. People, 24, I think, was one.
Designated Survivor was really good. First season of that was fantastic. Then it just kind of down. But that was a great show, season 1.
Is that going to absolve him from his crimes that we're going to mention?
Sure, why not?
You think that'll get him off the hook? Let me tell you something. I have seen this guy arrested myself. And I don't even know the guy. I've seen him arrested numerous
times.
Personally, in front of my house a number of years ago, coming out of a bar, 4 o'clock in the morning, naked in the streets.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I've seen Kiefer Sutherland arrested previously. Now, in this particular event, he got into an Uber on Fairfax here in Hollywood and began to tell the guy who didn't speak English, who was an Armenian, where he wanted to go in addition to the route that he plugged in, which was to his home, to go home. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. He decided that he'd like to go here, he'd like to go there, he'd like to go here. And the guy said, you can't do that. And he immediately began to strangle the guy from over the back of the seat. As the guy dialed 911, the responders were hearing him strangling him. Wow. And they responded, and Kiefer got out of the car, tried to hoof it on foot, but was apprehended by LAPD and is now facing attempted murder charges. He was released on $50,000 bail. Why he got bail, I don't know, but he is now going to be charged, I believe, with attempted murder, or at least something right below that, because he kept saying on the recording, I'm going to kill you. And that's actually on the 911 thing, that the guy who didn't speak English was pleading for help, the Armenian, Eric.
Well, maybe he'll get the Downey treatment and get better from this whole mess.
Well, people have tried with him for decades, so I don't, unless there's some incredible wake-up call. Many have tried, many have failed. Now, another one we've tried with is a former supermodel named Janice Dickinson. I don't know if people remember Janice Dickinson.
I remember Angie, but I don't know about Janice.
No, Janice Dickinson is a very, very famous supermodel. People in the chat know who she is. She was apparently over in England doing a show called Celebrity Something or Other. And apparently she had a mishap, Eric. And I don't know if you have a photo of what she looked like after the mishap, but she's suing the production company in London, blaming them for her physical mishap of her face.
Okay. I'm looking right now to see if I can find it. Go ahead and describe it more while I'm looking.
I will describe it more. The British company said we did everything we could to help her, and we called the ambulance, and she was taking first class back to LA. We called the services. We paid her medical bills, all to no avail. She's suing them for millions. And then she take a look.
I think I found it. Oh my God.
No. She's a friend of an old friend of Celebrity Rehab. That's why I was mentioning Janice Dickinson, who was on Celebrity Rehab years ago. Many people have tried to help her, and she admitted that her therapist had given her Ambien and that she fell right onto her face.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just want to put her in the category of many tried to help and many have failed. Let me just put it that way.
Good luck to her.
Now, the third celebrity story, which is I don't know if you got a copy of this, but Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins.
I do have that.
Oh, very good, because he has made statements that echo what I've been saying for years, according to even Moby and Rob Reiner and others, that he was approached by intelligence officers of the United States government to help them. Corgan is speaking out on Instagram and a few other places, talking about how elements.
This is an interview. I found the original interview and I pulled it from that. So
good. Okay,
I can play it here.
All right.
At different times, I've been approached by elements of the U.S. government to be involved in things that were just way above my pay grade. I've never talked about them in any depth publicly, but I've had experiences where I would find myself in a room with people and think, why are they talking to me? And it was something out of like Eyes Wide Shut.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And what did they say? Like
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
No, because I haven't talked about it. I can certainly talk about it in sort of like in a sort of a kind of a I was there kind of way.
Well, yeah.
But it's similar to when I talked about experiencing a shapeshifter on Howard Stern. It became this thing where I was hunted in airports. Please tell me the shapeshifter story. All I can say is I've experienced supernatural things, and I've experienced things where I've had elements of the U.S. government reach out to me because they somehow want to hook my influence, which is not that great, into whatever they're after.
The point of the story is, you don't have to run the rest of it. The point of the story is, they approach these celebrities like Moby, like Rob Reiner, like Corgan, and they want your social media. They want your 2.5 million followers so they could blast out propaganda. Corgan didn't go for it. Moby did. Rob Reiner did. I don't know how many other celebrities did or didn't. Corgan goes on to say, if you don't cooperate with them, they could turn the switch off on your career, or they can make your career if you do cooperate with them. He talks about it later on in that interview. And I've been saying this for a number of years on this channel. That just corroborates it again after Moby did the same thing a number of years ago, corroborating it. And then the same with Rob Reiner. His entire social media was wiped clean when Trump got reelected, and he checked into rehab. This thing is so outrageous, so egregious, because it involves CIA and American celebrities. And this goes way back, to the 1950s, where the CIA was involved with American celebrities, using them for influence and presentation and to get into foreign countries and to get in, more importantly, into social circles. And that's what this is about. And the new social circles is getting all of his Instagram followers. Now, I don't know how many Billy Corgan has, but I'm sure it's more than me and Eric combined. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know how many. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. If you could round up even 10 of these guys, and I'm sure there's quite a few more, you've got hundreds of millions of people you could drop any sort of message at any time. It's gold. It's intelligence propaganda gold. And I thank Corgan for speaking out about it, as nervous as he is about it here and how delicate as he's dancing around. The same with Moby and Rob Reiner, rest in peace, Rob Reiner, for what happened with you. But nevertheless, this is a major, major problem with American intelligence working on its own civilian celebrities to access their followers for political propaganda. It's terrifying. It's something so Orwellian, it freaks me out.
Can I also point out it's not a matter of the number? Sure, the number is important, but it's who they're following.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
these are people who would not be reachable directly. So by coming through this, they're able to tap into a whole audience that you would never imagine being influenced by them or whatever else. And that's kind of huge.
The sheer volume of it is huge. I mean, how many does Corgan have? 20 million followers on all of social media? I mean, I don't know the numbers on Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, but I can presume that he's got millions of followers if you add up all his social media.
I'm sure, but I'm saying
that's just one guy. That's just one guy. Yeah. All right. Did you follow this story about them raiding the house of this Washington Post reporter, Hannah Nathanson, who was getting secret information from Pentagon contractors, Eric? They have.
I saw that they raided the house. I haven't gotten the full details. I know Kash Patel posted about it on X, but I don't know the details. So fill us in.
They took all of her, electronics, took her cell phones, took everything, just like they did to a certain gay reporter, undercover guy years ago that we covered here on the story. James O'Keefe, and apparently the outrage on this level is beyond anything imaginable because she worked for an untouchable organization called the Washington Post, and because O'Keefe did not, O'Keefe's media could be stolen by the FBI and tracked all the way back to Bush's daughter, if you remember the storyline, that he had attempted to purchase the diary of the president.
Not Bush's, Biden's daughter.
Biden's daughter, the president of the United States' daughter's diary, which is apparently a federal crime. And that's why they broke down James O'Keefe's door and took all of his electronics. Now, this, of course, is absolutely couldn't possibly rise to the level of a presidential daughter's diary. This is merely Pentagon secrets from defense contractors and printing them in the Washington Post. So this is just meaningless compared to the diary, which was actually a 12-step diary of a daughter who was in rehab.
And by the way, chat, we don't know that James O'Keefe is gay, but he does like show tunes.
Yeah, I think he likes show tunes, and I'm going to go with it.
I know he likes show tunes. I've seen
what difference does it? What difference does it make?
Right.
What difference does it make? But anyway, I thought that would be of interest. We don't know what's going on. We just know there's a lot of outrage at this time because they, entered the premises and took her stuff.
Right, because she is a mainstream journalist versus anybody else who doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, you brought up Susan Wojcicki before, or Wojcicki, and
I did.
A show or two ago, just something about her. But she also famously said that she cares about journalists, but this does not include those weirdos sitting in their basement. Variety show or some variant of that.
She'll decide which are professional, now, of course, which are
she's passed on. But
right.
But yeah, she I remember her saying about the basement and all that. So,
what do you make about this Machado woman giving the Nobel Peace Prize to Trump, and then Nobel Peace Prize coming out denouncing her? Like, she doesn't have enough aggravation living in Colombia, fearing for her life,
or Venezuela,
no, but she's living in Colombia in exile.
Okay,
Machado.
How would you go there? I'd pick somewhere else, but go on.
I don't know. She was fleeing for her life, and apparently
that's nearby.
So she got the Nobel Prize. She handed it over to Trump. It was nicely framed and matched the decor of the room they were in. I don't know how she pulled that off, but whoever framed that Nobel Prize should get a special award because it'll definitely be hanging somewhere in the White House based on how it looks. But yeah, Machado won the election with 67% of the vote versus Maduro's, I think, 25% of the vote, 27% of the vote. But Trump apparently is not completely ready to help her get installed in power because she does not have the support of the right wing or junta, whatever you want to call the military.
The military. She doesn't have the military behind her. And
but she does have what's actually important, the actual votes. The votes of the people of Venezuela voted for her overwhelmingly to be the president of Venezuela. I don't know if that matters, but at some point, I predict she'll end up being president. And Trump embraced her with open arms yesterday. So that was also a sign of things to come, I think, Eric.
Well, he embraced her, but then he also said that, and he hasn't said, forever, but at this point, she doesn't have the stature to do it. So he could be playing it out where there has to be another election. Things have to be settled down there. And then if there's another election and she wins it again, then that would hopefully get the people to sway over the military, especially.
Well, you would think that a guy like him would be sensitive to a situation like this more than most people.
I don't know. He had Tucker at the White House today. So what do you want?
He's back again?
Yeah, Tucker was at the White House today with Trump.
Doing
in
what?
The Oval Office. Yeah.
Boy, he's just not going to stop.
No, yeah, hold on. I'll share with you. So,
wow.
Why
does he have the key to the door? How does he get in there?
Well, I don't know, but here you go. That's Trump. That's Tucker. And then look, we're hanging out there. Susie Wiles. There's Trump, Rubio, Tucker. There you go. So
is Tucker afraid of losing his job on state TV in Iran, and that's why he's complaining? Or is he the spokesperson for the Iranian regime?
Well, he talks to the president, so maybe
the president of Iran.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying maybe he is an intermediary.
It could be.
Maybe he's acting as some sort of shuttle.
That would be actually really an interesting thing.
I'm half joking. I'm only half joking. It might be that he is doing shuttle diplomacy.
And if he did, that would be quite remarkable and good, because we'd all be fooled. And if he helped get a deal and get the Iranian president out with his other friend Putin and moved on, then
would you be willing to make him president of Greenland?
Tucker?
Yeah. As a reward, I'm saying.
I never thought about that. Can I get back to you?
Yeah, I just popped into my. Like sometimes you'll give influencers and helpers like the ambassadorship.
Why don't you give me the ambassadorship to Qatar and call it a day?
You could but that's too on the nose. See, what I'm saying is you deflect a little bit, make him the president of Greenland. That way, you've got the best of both worlds. He's stuck up there, can't get out.
Well, he likes it. He likes hunting. He likes the cold. He likes Maine. So yeah, maybe he's an outdoorsy guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Somebody said it's close to Maine. Not exactly. But,
you could see Greenland from his porch in Maine, is what he said famously a couple of months ago.
Yeah,
I think there's more to this than Eric and I have stumbled into here with Tucker and Iran.
Maybe. But I was like, okay, well, there you go, Trump. Nice, whatever.
That's awkward.
Yeah. What else do we have coming up here? Well, you know what? I'm going to jump in and do some super chats early because we can always appreciate the support from the audience. And we'll start with Australia and Anthony. And I don't know if you can guess what Anthony has to say.
And the same guy?
Yeah.
Oh, from down there. I thought it was a reporter. No, I got a feeling what he's going to say. Daniel Baldwin, though, is on Twitter talking about how his brother abandoned him over Daniel Baldwin's support of MAGA. So I thought that was.
I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's making one of those testimonials, which I kind of like.
Which one? Let me see. Stephen Baldwin, I think, is the one who wants to fight everybody over it or something.
No, Daniel turns out Daniel was the golden child of that family originally when they were in high school. Daniel was the star football player. Daniel was going to be the star actor. Daniel was the oldest. Daniel was really shepherded and supposed to be the head of that family fame-wise. And then his brother surpassed him, Alec.
Well, I don't know. Then there are two Baldwins who like Trump, and maybe Daniel can go hang out with the good Baldwin, Adam
Baldwin, yeah,
who is not related, but they can go hang out together. All right, so Anthony from Australia. Trump's fault on schedule. It's not a question this time, so He's gone back to a statement versus a question. Wellesley 73. With no sanctuary states, this would all happen in prisons. Huh?
There's certain logic to that, because the violence that we're seeing now on the streets is because of this phony law that's not really a law, the sanctuary city ordinances, let's say. I would say an ordinance, you know what I mean? But they could be state laws, like in California, if the state legislature passed certain laws. But again, these are, like the state of California passing a law saying you can't eat meat in the state of California. You know what I mean? I exaggerate slightly for what?
I was just like, what? All right, go on.
Right, I got your attention, didn't I?
Yeah, I had to.
No, but I'm exaggerating for effect. I mean, they're making it seem like these are in the United States Constitution in these sanctuary cities, and they're now exacerbating it and expanding it to say, even if they come into a sanctuary city, they'll now be arrested. Based on what law of what universe? You passed a resolution on a city council of housewives saying we these are sanctuary cities? Based on what does that even mean? Nobody's tested this. We're wasting valuable time. Take this thing to the United States Supreme Court and drive a fucking stake through it already, because it's a political vampire.
I agree on that. And you brought up a good point. I'm not used to the right ever doing this. The left just makes shit up as they go.
Yeah.
And then pretends and reports like it is actually a thing. So when you said that, it was triggering in my head. I'm like, yeah, no, the right at least finds a law or some sort of precedent to lean on for what they're saying. They're not just saying, oh, it's blah, 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 blah. And everybody just keeps repeating it, which is really Goebbels completely, just lie until it's said enough that people assume it's actually true.
But what is the legal foundation to declaring a sanctuary city? You have a word, sanctuary. Okay, I got that. You have a word, city. We put the two together and we say that anything we say goes, because we've taken these two words and smushed them together. That means that murderers, crooks, thieves, people who want to have transgender sex assignment surgeries, who are underage, people who are abortion doctors, anything can come to our incredible, crazy crime syndicate state because we took these two words, sanctuary and state and city, and smushed them together. Okay.
Does this go back possibly? I'm just wondering, and I'm not saying it's the same thing, but does it go back to slavery and potentially Jim Crow laws? That there was something like that. Some places saying, "Oh, they're safe here."
I know it. Nope.
Okay. Well, somebody in the chat or comments, let me know later if that's possible. I don't know for sure. It's just I kind of wonder about that.
Just made it up.
Misleading.
You just made it up.
So.
Well, they're trying to get the reparations money together up in San Francisco now. They put out the rules for you to get money for reparations in San Francisco, even though there were no slaves in the state of California. They now said if you're a descendant of a slave, and you can prove it back until Civil War time, and have lived in the city of San Francisco for 10 years or more, you are entitled to millions of dollars in reparations that the city of San Francisco does not have, because they are $1 billion in the red with their own small city budget, not a big city. However, they are now guilt tripping a la Black Lives Matter on torturing corporations to cough up the money that they could be the middleman to give to these black people who moved to San Francisco 10 years ago, who can prove that their ancestors were slaves in the land of Canaan back in the 1800s.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is from a mayor who everyone perceived to be a moderate Democrat. That's Levi, a descendant of Levi Strauss genes.
Oh, well. Well, compared to some, I guess that is moderate. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Lori Latchford or whatever comes off as a moderate with the person who followed her, Lori Lightfoot, sorry.
I don't know if she came off as a moderate, but there's a new
in comparison to Brandon, who followed her, it's like, okay, well, you go from bad to worse.
There's a new type of Democrat, and that is the descendant of money Democrat who has money and is the, you want to say, a trust fund baby, any way you want to spin it. That's the new Pritzker, Levi Democrat. There's a bunch of these around the country now. I don't know, maybe somebody knows some more of them all over the country, but give me a name, give me the names of anyone you know regionally where you live who are now in positions of power, who are either trust fund kids or descendants of money. I'd be curious to see exactly how many there are in the Democratic Party scattered around the United States.
There might be a Walton in there. Who was the one? There was the one who invested in all the art vandals. I
don't know. But I think the people, wherever they live, whoever lives in Nashville, whoever lives in New Mexico, whoever lives wherever in Chicago, there are people that we're not privy to, because it's not publicized that much, who are descendants of money, who cannot just go around and disappear and go on vacation. They must make the rest of our lives tortured.
I agree. Well, that's the fun part about, as my friend said about Jeff Bezos. At least he has the courtesy to go, be with a younger woman and hang out on a yacht. It's like, please do that. We don't need you mucking about. Well, anyway, speaking of Lori Lightfoot, who I did bring up, I had this before. Turns out that she also has problems with credit card bills.
Well, she's not one of them.
Sued for $11,000.
She needs the reparations from San Francisco. She ought to move to San Francisco.
Well, here's the funny part. Lori Lightfoot was called in to Dalton to investigate Tiffany Henyard. Remember America's mayor who really robbed the city in every way? Nate did a whole series on that. So it's ironic that the woman who got called in has her own credit card problems.
Is Dalton a city?
It's a suburb of.
Oh, okay. All right. Of Chicago?
It is a city. I think it's a little further out, maybe like an exurb of it, but it is a city.
Yeah. And it was that crazy mayor you're talking about?
Yeah, Tiffany Henyard.
Oh, right. She's still in power or no?
No, she's out of power there, but she was also the county supervisor of the next county and the mayor of Dalton. But
that's awkward.
She was investigated. Lori Lightfoot was doing it, ironically.
That's awkward.
You think?
Yeah.
All right.
Lori Lightfoot has eyes on the side of her head. I don't think you should be qualified to run for office with eyes on the side. She's a
Batman villain.
She's a Batman villain with eyes on the side of her head. I don't know what that's called. Maybe people in the chat know what that condition is called. Wall-eyed. We used to hear that. Barbara Bush famously had a hypothyroid condition where her eyes bulged out of her head. Like Marty Feldman, that's a separate condition. But the wall-eyed thing, I think there's a medical condition for that. And people in the chat know, I'd really appreciate it.
I don't know. It could be cross-eyed or...
No, cross-eyed is inward. This is wall-eyed. This is going the other way, Hunley.
Well, did you ever get that whole thing of you stopped that or your eyes are going to get stuck as a kid?
Yeah, if you did the cross-eyed thing, if you intentionally did it.
How many times did you hear that? Yeah.
Parents just went crazy,
I wonder if there was a kid that got stuck at one point. That would have been
Somebody
funny.
must have gotten that. Some kid. Well, they probably said it about the kids who were cross-eyed, that they did it to themselves to explain it.
Well, what I love is I kind of appreciate, I have a family picture from literally in the 1800s, forever ago. And there's one kid in the mix, out of the mix. So everybody's, super stoic because, probably cost a month's salary just to do the picture, and everybody's all serious. And then you have one little shithead who's got a goofy ass.
You really had a freeze back then for a long time, when you had that flash and everything. That's why nobody's smiling, because you couldn't keep the smile that long. Everyone's usually deadpan.
Oh, that's true. But, maybe that's why they had the habit during the Victorian times of when a relative died, they actually had death photography. I don't know if you've seen that. It's a weird one where they would pose with the person who died, making them look like they're alive. And I was like, now that you mentioned, well, they are sitting still for the photograph.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're definitely cooperating after a fashion. All right, so back to the Super Cat generic account, a continuation. This is the Epstein person.
Or he changed his name, or the same? It's the same name.
Same name. I want people to know it seems important that the entire Congress is presenting a dog and pony show. You have a uniparty cover up or a giant fraud. Seems sort of noteworthy. So
it's noteworthy, but it's just not true. I mean, it could be noteworthy, but I just don't believe it. No subject has gotten more attention on the face of the earth. It's now in the Oversight Committee. And again, the former president of the United States and a presidential candidate are about to be indicted for not responding to a subpoena about this subject. I don't know what dog and pony show or uniparty. It was both sides of the aisle voted for this, Eric, as you're well aware, on this subpoena of Hillary Clinton, because they knew the gravitas of what they were doing. Somehow he was able to get both sides, the chairman of the Oversight Committee was able to get both sides to agree with this in sending subpoenas to a former president of the United States and a woman who ran for president of the United States. I think that's substantial. It could be me. I don't know. Maybe it's unsubstantial.
All right. Well, to follow up, I guess the comeback on everything you said is this one. I guess, what does JFK have to do with anything? Let's let that go.
Again, I don't understand what
that's almost a non sequitur.
Yeah, it's like a non sequitur. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay.
I don't know what that means.
AB8 Picks gifted 5 America's Untold Stories.
That's nice. That's really
always
nice.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Rhett MP Sargent has been a member for 29 months, dude. So supporting us for 29 months, over
that's
almost
insane.
2.5 years. I was one of the active duty troops in LA in 92. Oh, wow.
Yeah. The reason he's mentioning 92 was that was when Bush implemented the Insurrection Act here in Los Angeles.
That's the Rodney King riots, right?
That's why he mentioned that.
Okay, that was a Rodney King riots.
Don't mention a person, Eric. Don't defame a dead person. They were riots. They didn't have a name on them. Next thing you'll be saying it was George Floyd.
I didn't say Summer of Love. Dr.
You can't call it the George Floyd riots. That would be racist.
Oh God. Like the China virus. Dr. Evil, Land of Misfit Toys.
That's funny.
This must be the Barbie.
Yeah, that's funny. Look, I don't even know what to say. There's so many of them. It's just like an entire separate line of Barbie dolls. Like once you go down this road, you probably get calls from the American Cancer Society, or where's
now I want burn victim Barbie. I feel left out.
We could have done this at National Lampoon. If somebody would have let me do this in 1986, I would have had a spread of all these disfigured Barbies, and we probably did do it.
By the way, this is why people say that we're beyond satire.
Right.
Because what you would have been doing was satire, and now they're actually doing it, which is just bonkers. I think a marker point for that has to be the OK sign being translated to quote white power and people actually buying it. It's like
whatever. Okay. I mean, the satire for this thing is so far lost because there's so many of them and it's so mainstreamed, that it's just amazing. Just absolutely amazing.
All right, Pam.
By the way, trans Barbie next week. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's Ken. No.
Trans Barbie. No, that's Ken. There's going to be a trans Barbie in between the two of them.
Oh, okay. But Ken in a dress.
Ken cheats on Barbie with trans Barbie, by the way, in episode 5.
I see. Well, how are they going to work the plumbing out? But anyway.
It's up to you. As the doll owner, you could do whatever you want.
No. Action figures, maybe. Action figures. Pam said, happy Friday, guys. Did you see the broadcast of President Trump getting a 4-mile stretch of highway named after him today in Florida? So awesome.
Okay, let me tell you something about this, because first of all, it's already been renamed. I talked about it on the show when I was in Palm Beach. I saw this over a month ago, and I commented on it because I was living right off of Southern Boulevard. So today must have been the official, because the signs have been changed for months. it says President Donald J. Trump Boulevard. And I saw it as soon as I got to Palm Beach, and I went, wow. And of course, Mark Halperin said there must be a Publix there. And in fact, there is 10 Publix there. There's 2 of them right on the corner where I was living. But it was changed months ago, I think, in anticipation of this, which must be the official announcement today, because all of Southern Boulevard now says President Donald J. Trump Boulevard instead of Southern Boulevard. So, but not the signs on the highway. They maybe have changed those now.
But she did say 4 mile stretch of highway, so maybe that's it.
Right, right.
Well, I have one question though.
Yeah.
Is it at least a good part of town? Because Martin Luther King Boulevard's not so good.
It's Palm
Anything
Beach.
Lincoln,
I just
so
want to
good.
say, just want to say, it's Palm Beach. It's a good part of Palm Beach, Southern Boulevard, which goes down to the airport. So it's a stretch from the airport up to the rest of northern Palm Beach, which is fine.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's a lot of Publix, as Mark Halperin pointed out, with sushi, which is Publix is great in Florida. There's a lot. It's a supermarket.
Yeah, I know what Publix is.
Well, they make heroes within the Publix thing that are unbelievable, 10 times better than Subway. And the one I was going to near where I was staying, across the street was a Subway store, and it was empty 24/7. Nobody went in there. They had a franchise across the street from Publix, and nobody went in there because Publix makes heroes from scratch for you, custom-made stuff. Fair
enough. All right. Justin Wright, 7297. Drove by a crowd of maybe 20 protesters in Wisconsin Rapids.
Yeah.
Looked like retirees and school-age people. Been to Chicago and Des Moines this week, and today was the only time I saw any pride protesters. Well, they're professional protesters. They're starting to come out now, because you have people like BG on the scene and whatnot who are going to protest after protest after protest, filming them all.
Yeah.
And they're interviewing the same damn people.
Yeah.
Who are,
they were showing this woman who was at every single protest. They're retired. They've hooked into this network. They've been contacted. They're getting a small amount of money, but I don't even think it's for the money as much as just have something to do and get out and do this stuff. I'm sure it's not a fortune, but these are retirees for the most part, or, just absolute deadbeat delinquents.
Okay. This is Charlie FLA.
That means Florida, usually.
I guess so, yeah. Mark, were either you or Eric in any of Candace's dreams?
How do we know? Who knows? Is she now interpreting dreams as part of her thing? Cassandra?
Her latest thing is
about dreams, Eric?
No, she's talking about Sumerian technology that the CIA used to help. I guess
time travel? Is she talking about time travelers?
Well, she said, Charlie Kirk said he was a time traveler. I think he meant metaphorically, like in the sense that he's of another time. But like anybody could tell because he liked classical music and things like that. So he could, say that, but no, she's literally doing like remote viewing type of argument now with the assassination, at least from the clips I've seen. I mean, look, somebody else can watch Candace, so I don't have to.
Yeah, I am so over that and Tucker's show, and I'm so done with. There's so many more interesting things going on than these two mutts.
Yeah, and okay, Beavis came in hot with $100, and I'm sorry I didn't see this before. Howdy, partners. Love today's show. There is a scene in Generation Kill where pizza is delivered to the troops before they invaded Iraq.
Yeah, good
call, Mark.
Well, my late friend PJ Ransone was in Generation Kill, so it was recently on my mind because of PJ's passing. It was an HBO series, as Beavis is well aware, and in fact, that was depicted in the show.
And he was the one who was also in The Wire, right?
Yeah,
okay,
it was Ziggy.
Ziggy, okay. I just sad.
But thank you,
Beavis. Thank you. Beavis is so generous. I mean, he comes in hot a lot. K-Dog 4703. Thanks to Martin Luther King, I get time and a half on Monday.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Right.
Time and a half. Thank you, MLK.
It is a federal holiday, so
right.
I know I used to love those. And I always, it sounds terrible, but I like Martin Luther King Day because you come off of Christmas, you get a little bit of a break there, you get a little bit of New Year's off, if you're working in the right, job. Obviously, some people
it's good placement. Good placement.
It's kind of like you're back in, damn it, you got to return to the world. It's January, everything's coming down to you, but 2 weeks later, like, we'll give you a little, 3-day weekend so you can kind of ease back into the
I always remember Chris Rock talking about taking black studies in college and putting up his hand, and every single answer was Martin Luther King. He used to do a whole routine about it, and he says 90% of the time you're going to be correct, so you just go Martin Luther King.
That's his version of C. Pick C.
Well, I don't know what his version of, but he did a whole bit of like kids answering Martin Luther King to any question in black studies.
That works. Revenue Raven with a $4.99 super sticker. Thank you. And we appreciate the revenue, Raven.
I think it was Sam Levinson. I think his name was Sam Levinson. Last name was Levinson. He was the chief advisor to Martin Luther King, and he was an avowed communist with roots back to the Soviet that drove Hoover crazy and brought JFK into the picture to try to get, I think it was Sam Levinson, to try to get Martin Luther King to separate himself from Levinson, and he refused. And because Hoover was saying that there were communist influences in the circle around Martin Luther King, and he was correct. He was correct.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Over on Rumble, with a Rumble rant, we have Teddy Ball Game 1. And that is Lori Lightfoot has fish eyes.
Yeah, that's not a medical term, though. I've heard that too, but I'm looking for the medical, for 20 points on the big board, the actual medical definition of fish eyes or wall eyes for people at home. Some doctor in Texas is going to come up with the answer or something. Some optometrist in Lima, Ohio is going to come up with it.
All right, fair enough. Teddy Ball Game with a number Rumble rant. What do you think about the comeback of Michelle Malkin? Why did she disappear? I didn't know she came back. And I know she kind of vanished.
She disappeared. What happened to her? Some of these people get married, have kids, and disappear.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know. The last I remember of Michelle Malkin, I think she was talking to the Rittenhouse family. So it's been a few years now, and I just don't remember much since. So I don't know. And I didn't know she came back. Good for her.
Michelle Malkin, yeah. Again, this happens with Hollywood actresses too. They'll marry a well-endowed financially man and disappear from acting or have children and go away.
All right. Let's see. Pirate Ken, who we just saw.
Hey, welcome.
Hey, if there's going to be a new Ken with Barbie, it best be a pirate, or else it will roll.
Well, you could sue them. I mean, because you own the rights to Pirate Ken. Everybody knows that. And you'd have a copyright suit against them. So I'm rooting for you, Kenny.
There you go. And then coming in hot, we have Gypsy Blues. I remember Gypsy. Let's see here. $50. Thank you so much, Gypsy. Hi, guys. Been a while, but I never miss an episode, even though he annoys me. That's got to be Mark, obviously. I agree with almost every take Mark has. Been subscribed since 2021 and attended a few meetups.
Okay, Gypsy, way to go.
Remember, we saw her in Youngstown.
I'm glad I annoy you, so it's a double-edged sword.
I think she was both in Youngstown and in West Palm.
Right.
Either West Palm or Boca. I don't remember.
I don't care how you take it, as long as if you not to agree with my take. I'm able to communicate to people. It does, I'm glad that you agree with them, obviously.
Well, and thank you very much, Gypsy. Oh, here we go. This is interesting story. I don't know if you, whoa. Beavis is coming in hot again.
Whoa.
The eye
Graves'
thing is
disease.
Graves'
Well,
disease.
Okay, I'm gonna agree with him on that. I'm gonna agree it is Graves' disease. I could not remember that. But the question is, did Barbara Bush have Graves' disease? Because I think Graves' disease might be the hypothyroidism that's its official name. I'm going to challenge this, and I'm going to suggest that Graves' disease might be hypothyroidism, Marty Feldman disease. But it may be the same thing. Let me put it that way. It may be the same thing, and Graves might be the name.
Okay.
In other words, the mayor of Chicago may have hypothyroidism, albeit Graves' disease, as did Barbara Bush, as did Marty Feldman. So I think Beavis may have eyeballed that correctly.
And by the way, are you the only one who goes a little crazy with hypo and hyper? Because hyper is like fat, and hypo means like slowed down.
I'm used to it because I have hypothyroidism. So I learned about it a long time ago. So I trained myself, but it is confusing.
Yeah, it's too close. I feel like the words need a wider variance to where they're, fast, slow. They're very
There's a
different.
lot of medical terms that are so confusing, they make no logical sense.
This is a banner day for super chats. Edward McLaughlin 9107 with $100. This is
hold on. Is the wall-eyed love? Yeah, okay. Extratropia. That's what I was looking for. That's what I need today. Thank you, Edward. Thank you for coming up on the.
Well, let me read it.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm excited.
Extratropia is the wall-eyed love-hate show today, as always. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's the correct terminology by Edward McLaughlin. Thank you so much, Ed. Wow.
So what is Graves' disease then?
Graves is hypothyroidism, eye bulging. That's the bulging of the eyes, not wall-eyed, just bulging out, like Barbara Bush. If you remember, Barbara Bush was not wall-eyed. She just had the bulging, which is what Marty Feldman might have had both. I think he might have had both. But the bulging is a separate condition.
No,
but I think extratropia. I'm going to have to call Dr. Drew immediately after the show. And I will. I'll get it.
Is this a typical phone call from you for
Absolutely.
For Drew?
No, it's not only that. I will text him or call him with these insane questions, and he will respond in 30 seconds, calling me an idiot for not knowing it. Not only will he respond, he will give me the answer and then belittle me for being so stupid as to not know the answer to my own insane medical question. So yeah, it's a love-hate relationship.
I gotta say this makes me like Dr. Drew more every day.
Dude, he could be very harsh to me. He treated Janice Dickinson, by the way, for addiction. So that's the reason I sent him a copy of that this morning, Drew.
All right. Well, in fairness, perhaps you are on the receiving end because he is abused daily, damn near, by Adam Carolla.
Yeah, I don't abuse him. I mean, he
can lash out after being abused by Carolla.
I've asked him repeatedly, why do you take that abuse? I don't know. They're in some strange codependent relationship, the two of them. It's a little weird.
It definitely is.
I don't abuse him. I revere the guy. Medically, he knows a billion times more than me, and he's smarter than me. So yeah, I'm happy to have him in my life because I will send him a blood test. What happens is I'll get a blood test, I'll send it to him, and he'll interpret it in 5 seconds.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Speaking of which, and I don't mean to get off course, but how's he doing? Because I think he's pretty close with Scott Adams.
Who?
Drew.
What?
I thought Drew was pretty close with Scott Adams.
Close emotionally. Yeah, I don't know. He hasn't told me that.
Okay.
I thought you meant he had some health issues.
No, friends. Friends with Scott.
No.
All right, Nick Giusti. As a Minnesotan, I am praying for Trump to use the Insurrection Act. These liberals need to learn the valuable lesson of F around and find out enough is enough. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, they're just going to play this passive-aggressive game with him and toy with him. Like Fry came out today, he was backing off a little bit. It's some passive-aggressive bullshit trying to get Trump off their back, and then they're going to go back to doing it. He's got to go in there and crush him. And I mean crush him. I'm talking about mass roundups, mass incarceration, Look, Nixon filled up RFK Stadium at one point, Eric, with people they arrested during the anti-war protests against Nixon. I mean, they have to bring in support troops to back up and physically arrest these people who are doing stuff. They continue to get involved, if you look at the footage, in physical altercations with these people, hitting them from behind, punching them, shoving them. They're outnumbered like 50-1, Eric.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's part of the problem. And part of why Renee Good happened is they're boxed in. Yeah. Why was he walking around with a cell phone? Well, obviously he was filming the license plate so he could text it to the other ones and they could say, let's look out for this person. Yeah. On down the line. And on that note, one of the stories I pulled is White House slams Walz Democrats in Minnesota following his direct appeal to Trump. Here's Walz apparently appealing
help
to Trump.
Us establish a record of exactly what's happening in our communities. You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities.
Sorry.
So carry your phone with you at all times.
What a
if you
provocative
see these
statement.
ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record.
Fuck
help us
you,
create a
you fucking
database
Elmer
of the
Fudd
atrocities
piece of shit.
against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution.
What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. How about this for a message? If ICE is coming, stay in your home, allow them to do their job. Do not get close to them. These are professional police officials. Do not interfere with ICE on any way level. Stay clear of their arrest. How about that for a message? How about that for a real message? What a piece of shit.
I agree.
You can't indict this guy fast enough for me.
And Omar, while you're at it, because she's out there saying the exact same thing as well, which is frustrating. I mean, to say the least.
It's frustrating that nothing's happening. There's so much noise and not enough smoke and gunfire. I mean, legally, I'm talking about.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we're still on the story, but we have Iran. We literally have, they're executing protesters, everything else going on. Sorry, I lost track here. This guy, I think, was given 10 minutes to, visit his family.
Look, here's what I think is going to happen. I think there's going to be surgical missile strikes into the Ayatollah's private home, the Capitol, the whatever their White House is, and then Trump is going to say, "Are you done yet?" After the missile strikes. That's my prediction. It'll probably be any day now, or any 4 o'clock in the morning in Tehran. But they are going to target various targets of living and take them out. I mean, this guy's in some sub bunker somewhere. I don't think even Moscow is going to accept him at this point because Moscow's got their hands full. And by the way, Trump is now turned on Zelensky. I don't know if you've noticed that. He has switched gears and is now publicly attacking Zelensky for being an impediment to peace.
What's Zelensky done now? I can't know.
Well, you're busy. This is all I do. I have no life. I just follow these crazy stories.
Good, as he should.
No, he's just saying Zelensky's interfering with him getting this peace deal, and he's done with Zelensky. So he's switched sides now, Trump. He's going in the other direction.
Wow. Okay.
No, every time he goes to talk to Zelensky, Zelensky's got to talk to their puppet masters. I predict, and this is another prediction, Trump will sit down and do away with Zelensky and end this thing, him and Putin together. Trump will represent Ukraine, and he will make the deal with Putin, carving up what is left or not left of Ukraine. Trump is going to do it himself because Zelensky just keeps going back to his puppet masters, and they keep telling him to say this, that, and the other. Trump is getting fed up, and he's going to do it himself to end this thing with Zelensky, and he will represent Ukraine.
Well, we'll see, because I have seen that over time, it ain't just Zelensky. Putin hasn't exactly been cooperative. He changes things up. He'll go march around and say, yeah, and then nothing. So I don't know.
I don't know if
feel
that's
like
an actual legal statement you just made, though. Is that a legal position?
It's a very firm position. Obviously. Keep up. Keep up. Let me see. Lisa Deed. The hearing damage from whistles, screeching bullhorns.
Well, there might be some hearing damage from the bullhorns that she's referring to at these protests, using the fog. What's that called? The foghorn.
Foghorn, yeah, I think so.
What's that called?
Fog? Well, there's foghorns, but like
it's not a foghorn. It's an air horn. Air horn.
Air horn. Air horn.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're blasting that right in their ears. Some kid got shot in the eye with a plastic projectile here in L.A. during the L.A. riots. He tried to attack an ICE agent from the side when they were arresting his friend, and he had a megaphone in his hand, but the megaphone had nothing to do with this. He ran up to try to grab this ICE agent who was arresting his sidekick. This kid was a professional protester linked to a communist organization. He's now lawyered up, and his eye socket has been completely destroyed because he lunged at this guy who fired the pepper ball or plastic bullet, and it went right into the kid's face, into his eye. Then they dragged him away and arrested him. So he's now suing I guess, ICE for the damage to his face, as if, and the LA Times didn't show this, the original video of him assaulting the ICE agents.
Of course they didn't show that.
Right.
Why would they do that?
Well, I mean, the video is so clear what he's doing, and you know, he got fired upon within 5 feet into his eye. And unfortunately, you know, he shouldn't have been there doing it.
Yeah. Oh, and well, I mean, good.
Not to mention he's part of a avowed Marxist organization that are professional protesters.
Right. Well, good luck. I mean, that is a hard suit to win. It's one thing if it was a city cop doing it.
Yeah.
And the cities are cowards, but good luck suing.
Oh, they're going to show the same video that I just described and show him, you know.
Well, I don't, but there's immunity already.
Yeah.
That's very difficult to get around.
Yeah. And this is non-lethal. This is non-lethal weaponry.
Yeah. Nick Giusti again. Walz told us in Minnesota to call the police on our neighbors during COVID.
Yeah.
Yet Trump is the Nazi.
Yeah, nothing spells Nazi in any area more than turning in your parents, turning in your neighbors for anything. For anything. I don't care if it's they were Yankee fans versus Met fans. Anything where a elected leader tells you to turn someone in just reeks of Third Reich to the highest levels of politics.
Well, there was a ton of reeking there on not only that, your papers. Do you have your papers? Show your papers to to be able to go into whatever. And Canada was perfect for that. It's like, oh, you can't shop here, you can't eat here, you can't do. It is nauseating.
Never forget, never forgive, never surrender. That's all I could say.
Nick Giusti again. YouTube has censored all the fun words to use. Yeah.
Well, they are. Let me tell you something. All of the problems left in this country are a 600-pound gorilla called Google, and somebody's going to have the courage to take them down, which is also YouTube, because this is unrelenting power that sits at the hands of Google, and nobody is talking about it, and everybody's afraid to go after them, and they have the most power in the entire universe in terms of censorship and control over intellectual ideas.
You haven't seen my Skynet shirt, huh?
I don't know anything about shirts.
I have a shirt
is this an underwear thing?
No, it's a shirt. Across it says Skynet, and it is the Google colors, because I've said for a couple decades that Google's Skynet. If you really,
I don't know what is Skynet.
You watch Terminator 2 and Terminator
2. Okay.
And Terminator, the principle of Terminator is that AI went and they built the robots and the machines to kill everybody.
Okay.
And the company that did it was Skynet.
Okay.
So Skynet, Google.
Okay. That's a long way to go, but I'll take it. All right.
All right. Well, I'll give you something that's a little closer to home that might be disturbing for you and everybody else. Right now, the largest phone operating system in the world is Android. It is on more phones than anything else. Number 2 is iOS. Android is now powered by Gemini, which is Google's AI, and Apple just signed the contract with Google that Siri will also be powered by Gemini. So effectively, about 99% of all cell phones in the world will be powered by Google's AI. So,
it's fascinating. I agree, but nothing could be more fascinating than the Dodgers picking up Kyle Tucker yesterday as the #1 free agent in baseball and putting him in left field. I just want to put that out there. We have signed
from left field, that's for sure.
We have signed Kyle Tucker to a 5-year deal, of which he'll only play 2, and then he'll opt out. I just want to give a shout out to my Dodger friends. I did not see that coming.
All right. Well, again,
and I will be down in spring training in March, middle of March, picking out a couple of games down there to scout my own team.
You damn sure don't want to be down there in August.
No, I'm not going. Well, I have been there in August, but they have an enclosed dome in Phoenix that's delightful. So I have been there in August, but not outside, obviously.
All right. Beavis Wallace coming in hot again. I mean, this has been a banner day for Super Chats. I'm going to leave the show happy tonight. $100. What the hell is France and other countries doing by sending troops to Greenland in a fake NATO exercise?
It's apparently, no, I mean, Beavis is right. It is a attempt to push back against Trump regarding Greenland. This is such a feeble, failed escargot army attempt to try to intimidate Trump into not taking Greenland, which is only going to be a negotiated situation anyway. Trump's not taking it by force. What a silly, silly French move. Beavis is right. In a fake NATO exercise. I thought I had seen it all, but this is a new low. Now, keep in mind, the people guarding Zelensky, by the way, are French security. So this, I believe, is tied into their global aspirations as a nation under Macron. They are trying to supplant both Germany, this is a general statement, Germany and the UK in domination in Western Europe. And they're flexing their muscles here, and they've been flexing their muscles attempting to control Zelensky's future fate, which will end up not so good, I believe. That's why the Cubans, anyone who's guarding a leader of a country from another country, that's their puppet. That's their puppet. And nothing historically, to me, studying history, has ever indicated the puppet master and the puppet better than the security guarding the puppet from another country. In other words, the Cuban security, the 34 that were killed in the raid on Maduro's place, were all Cuban top security officials. They owned Maduro. The French own Zelensky, and this is getting a little bit pushy with the French and Trump. I just wanted to address that a little bit deeper.
Well, and I mean, to be fair, France and Germany have been competing to run the EU for decades. You know, like who's the top dog? Back and forth.
Germany has completely collapsed from that role, but the French have, in the past 2 or 3 years, have started to flex their muscles because there's a power vacuum, obviously, in Germany, and the UK has completely lost their freaking mind. So there is a gap, a power gap there.
True. Nick Juicy, happy Friday. Like and subscribe. Do it. Just do it. Do it now. And here's something that is not being done. LAC is a 16% drop in film and TV shoot days compared to 2024. So I'm guessing 2025.
Yeah, it's worse. It's worse than that. Yeah. Well, it's worse than that. The 16% is being polite. It's more like a 37% drop in other areas compared to 2024 and 2023. 16 is being polite in that headline. It's completely collapsed. They are selling off the Radford Studios this week. People who know Radford Studios is famously where a lot of famous TV shows were shot, including Seinfeld. And the studios are now empty, and they're beginning to sell off the actual physical studio itself. So we're going to see that coming up in the next year, too.
Great. Well, I mean, again, my sympathy levels aren't that great.
No, I know. I agree.
It's filming. you know, like you have Sylvester Stallone filming Tulsa King, and I believe in Tulsa, and then other areas. So is it just spreading out across the nation? You got the Netflix studios in New Jersey.
Spreading out for years. The point of the matter is, this was a failed attempt by Newsom to piggyback Trump's tax cuts. Newsom came out with it about a year ago, piggybacking Trump's attempt to save Hollywood by giving them tax cuts. And everybody laughed because the tax cuts are not going to cut it. In other words, the amount of damage to the film industry, he turned a blind eye to it, Newsom, by taxing them repeatedly for over 10 years. And when Trump started to make a move, all of a sudden, just like no tax on tips, which he's not going to sign, by the way.
Oh, no. Yeah.
He's not going to go for that. There's no tax that they've ever gotten rid of. And he's not getting rid on taxing waitresses for their tips. However, regarding the film industry, they have driven this industry single-handedly out of Southern California. This feeble, phony attempt to give them a tax break this past year, according to the article, and it's true, did absolutely nothing to stop the hemorrhaging financially.
I mean, it's not a surprise.
No, not at all.
When your core is completely rotten, you can only do so much.
No, everybody's shooting all over the world, but the point of the matter is, it's hardly sustainable if you have to go to Ireland because of the health insurance of the nation of Ireland, so you don't have to pay health insurance to the crew. It's hard to pull that off all the time.
True. Eventually, some of them will get smart too and say, there's not enough money there to bother.
Well, they've already gone through every state in the union. So now they've gone a lot of Eastern Europe, a lot of Slovakia, the actual nation of Slovakia, Ireland, so they could milk the socialist medicine benefits of health insurance there. But these people are getting hip to it too.
Yeah, I think Game of Thrones is like a good symbol of all the places, because I believe that was England, Iceland. I don't know if it was Prague.
You can't shoot there anymore. You can't shoot there anymore.
No. But we are going to move on ourselves to our other location, which is Locals. As usual, you can join for free. And I just want to give a shout out tonight. You guys have been incredibly generous with super chats. I mean, wow, that is very helpful. Thank you very much. I just want to acknowledge it because it is really important to us. We struggle all the time. YouTube is suppressing us like crazy. We're constantly demonetized. The ad money's down. Everything is down. So you guys are single-handedly making this a great episode that is doing very well for us, even without a sponsor. So I feel like it's important to shout that out. And Mark even cares too. He plays it off, but I guarantee Mark also appreciates the input. We're now going to head over to our supporters at Locals, who are there all the time, which we always appreciate. You guys can join it for free and check it out, see what's going on. And if you really like it and want to support further, you can pay $70 a year and get access to other materials, including things like reading the comments on the post, commenting yourselves on the post, posting on the site yourselves, interacting in the chat. Like right now, you can watch this. We'll continue there. You can watch us, do it for free. But if you want to interact with the chat, then, you'll be a yearly supporter. Everybody there is paid to play, and we do deeply appreciate it. There's also the Oswald audio drama, the LBJ audio drama. There's multiple books that are out of print, very hard to find in PDF format that we've put there, different articles, different things like that. Consider checking it out. And I even do a weekly show called a Girl Stream for folks at Locals. It's a hangout that I do every Saturday evening. I'll have it tomorrow evening. Hope you consider it. But again, thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. And if we don't see you at Locals, well, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Interesting. Very good.